Hello, Bingo from tradingfootball.eu, and welcome to another video in this video we're going to be looking at in-play trading, which is becoming increasingly a popular element within the tradingfootball.eu service. And it was a Thursday night, the 23rd of October, and there were 7 games in fact in which I selected to trade in play. There was one there, Zagreb versus PSV, which was our sort of major loss. And the rest of them we'll kind of go through in this video, kind of why we selected these particular games and what kind of moves we made actually in play. One of the first ones was Genk against Rapid Vienna. Now Genk took the lead in the first half, and we employed a strategy called the gunslinger, whereby we lay the leading team. In this case it was Genk. We also lay the current score. In this case it was 1-0. The beauty of this particular strategy, the gunslinger, is that if the underdog, in this case Rapid Vienna, the losing team, actually score a goal, you win on both the correct score market lay and you win on the match odds lay. A second game we looked at was Lyon against Rijeka. All these games are from the Europa League, by the way. And I laid under 1.5 goals, and Lyon scored sort of 15 minutes later, and that meant I could hedge out for a £15 profit there. The third game, Red Bull Salzburg against Standard, in which I laid the favourite Red Bull, playing at home at 1.6, plus backed certain correct scores, 2-0, 2-1, 3-0 and 3-1 to Red Bull. I also backed 2-0 in the half-time score market. The stakes are weighted in such a way, I laid here Red Bull for £35. The stakes are weighted really towards a draw or a standard victory. The insurance cover on 2-0, 2-1, 3-0, 3-1 would give us some profit should Salzburg actually win the game. Our next game was Elfsborg versus Exburg, if I pronounce that correctly, in which we did a Clint strategy. This is where we back over 2.5 for £35. We back under 1.5 for £12, and we back on the correct score market 1-1 for £6, and 2-2 for £2. And as an additional insurance, we back 0-0 again for £2. So ideally we want goals in this game. Our dangers, as we'll see later in the video, will be 0-2. Another game, Wigan against Rubin Kazan. This was a straightforward scattergun strategy, where we back pre-match 1-1, 1-2, and 2-1. And the stakes were in this case sort of very small, £5 on 1-1, £3 each on 2-1 and 1-2. Most times we would double or sort of treble those particular levels of stakes there. And we did a scattergun, again, backing 1-0, 2-1, 1-2 for our 6th game, Dinamo Zagreb against PSV. So, those are all our bets matched and laid. and we go in play. And Esbjerg take the lead against Elfsborg very early on, first 7 minutes. You can see there, I mean, we could exit the over 2.5 market for a sort of £17 hedge profit, but we'll kind of let this trade run. As you can see, I mean, we have lost sort of £9 if we hedge the under 1.5 market. As I said earlier, the only real danger of this particular strategy is a late 0-2. But our profit is basically all on the over 2.5 goals. Back in England, and Championship side Wigan are playing Rubin Kazan, and Rubin take the lead after 10 minutes. A little bit early for the scattergun strategy because, well, a second goal by Rubin, and that would actually then eliminate 2 of our bets. It would only leave us with 1-2 as a possible profit scoreline. So we're going to let that one run and hope and expect that the home side Wigan will get an equaliser. Back over to Austria and Salzburg. Still 0-0 there. And good news, Wigan equalise on 38 minutes, which is very good timing, as you'll see when the suspended sign lifts and the market resettles, that we will be able to do a number of things. And there are a few options we can take here. I'm just sort of clicking the refresh button. As you can see, the prices haven't quite settled yet. 1-1, we've got 2.9 to back, 5.2 to late. There we go. So we need these prices to settle before we can actually make a particular move. I thought I would just let this run at least until half time. There's 5 minutes to go, but as a very quick and cheap insurance, should another goal be scored just before half time, I laid the 1-1 in the half time score market for £10 at 1.16, and that would at least cover our correct score market stakes of £11. Good news, Red Bull is suspended. Is there a goal? Well, no, there isn't. There's a red card. And in fact, the video just slightly missed this, but there were 2 red cards in the first half, which made red cards can always make a trade kind of slightly tricky. But in this case, with 2 red cards down to 10 men each, I mean, you're back to square one, really. So I'm just kind of going to leave this particular trade of laying the favourite and seeing how it will pan out in the second half. Now we can see our 1-1 half-time score has been matched in the Wigan-Rubin game. And you can see they're highlighted. I could exit this particular trade there for £11 profit, which is in fact 100% return on investment. Remember, 1 more goal, okay, 1-2, you got £25 green there, £29 green on 2-1. That would give you, your maximum profit. But any other goal now, and that would leave you just with 1 possible scoreline. So, given that it's 1-1 in the first half, I took a sort of a semi insurance angle here, option here, in which I laid the 1-1, 1-2, and 2-1 to clear my red stakes there of £11. So basically, I'm just laying those 3 score lines for my initial back stake: £5 on 1-1, and £3 each on 1-2 and 2-1. And this will, in effect, give us a free trade, or a free bet, as we can call it. Just waiting there to get them matched. Just as a kind of a small tip here, you can see this below that sort of green highlight button there, take £14.93. Next to it, profit and loss 11.27. This is the Betfair cash out function. I advise you not really to use that, or at least use it very judiciously, because you won't get the best prices. And by doing it manually, like I've done, at least you can ask for a particular price that you want, rather than take the first one on offer. So I decided, partly because I've got 6 other games going on, to at least take my 100% profit on the Wigan game. You do have an option to let that run, as I said, for at least a free bet there. Back over to Scandinavia. And the score is 0-1 still. Now, at this point in the second half, okay, 0-1, we're covered to some degree with the under 1.5 green of £33, but we've got a £35 red on over 2.5. So I needed to back 0-1 at least. And of course, this danger score of 0-2, and I decided to back that as well for £2 at 7.0. So at least I will be reducing the red on the correct score market on the 0-1 and the 0-2 score lines. 0-2, remember, if that was the final result, would actually result in an overall loss of £35 red on the over 2.5, £12 red on the under 1.5, so £37 red. So we need to keep our eye on that 0-2. And there's a goal in Salzburg. It's 1-0. Again, this is one of our danger scores in Red Bull. We've got the 2-0 covered and the 2-1, and we've got the 3-0 covered as well there. And the draw and a standard victory is covered obviously by the lay of Red Bull, as you can see there. Well, we've got a liability of £21 or a green of 35 should standard win, or it's a draw. So we're not looking sort of too unhealthy on that particular trade in Austria. So ideally there, we need at least one more goal, either 2-0 or 1-1. And over to Dinamo Zagreb against PSV, and I used bet365.com to get in-play statistics, and we can see there, actually just slightly off the screen, but there's 6 shots on target to Zagreb, and there was 2 to PSV, and it was still 0-0. And excuse me, and in normal circumstances, those statistics would lead one to consider at least a lay of some kind. And I chose to lay the under 1.5 goals. You could alternatively drip lay the 0-0, or you could even lay the draw. So I chose to lay the under 1.5, because that was the cheapest option, at 1.44 for £15. Now remember, this Dinamo Zagreb game, the initial strategy was a scattergun, so I've got £11 red on the correct score market. So I'm actually now adding to the red on that particular game, hoping for at least one goal. Back over to Salzburg. The suspended sign goes up. Not too sure what happened there. Just maybe a yellow card, and that's why Betfair suspended it. Elfsborg, Eschberg. what we didn't want really, and Edgeburg go into a 2-0 lead with about sort of 15-20 minutes to play. So we need to keep an eye on that. There's a possibility there to kind of hedge the over 2.5 market for £7, but we will be losing £12 on the under 1.5 market, and also £11 on the £15 rather on the correct score market. So it's 0-2. You know, as I said before, that's a sort of a potential £47 loss, £48 loss, in fact, as it stands. Elfsborg, the home side, they were the favourites, and they seemed to be pressing quite hard. So I was sort of relatively confident that another goal would be scored, hopefully by Elfsborg. And as I was sort of contemplating what to do, the home side do in fact pull one back to make it 1-2. Therefore, our over 2.5 green of £36 has been won, and we got an overall profit in that particular game there. So we got Wigan sorted out. We've got the Scandinavian game, a profit there. We're looking at the Scandinavian game, need another goal there. And in Scandinavia, of course, what we call our double bubble, if it goes to 2-2, then we've got a nice £16 green there to add to the profit that we already have, which is around about £13. And there's 20 minutes left to play. And the same over in Zagreb, sort of 15 minutes left there, still no sign of a goal. And more mayhem over at Salzburg, where Standard have their second man sent off, which in this particular instance isn't so bad. Okay, we've got some cover on 1-0, but we really would like another goal from Salzburg or Standard. So that one, I think, just obviously still keep our eye on that, but that looks okay. What doesn't look okay out of all of the sort of 7 trades I did this evening is this Zagreb PSV. Is that heading towards a dreaded 0-0 scoreline? I obviously think not, so I'm getting arguably a little bit greedy, and I decide to lay 0-0 for £10 at 1.44. So now I've increased my initial pre-match liability of £11 to now possibly £21. Red Bull, power to them, and they get a second goal. So at least we've got £15 green on the 2-0, less £21 on the liability on the match odds. So it's a potential sort of minus £6 red on that particular trade. A goal to Standard at this case would be very handy. That would put us back into profit. We've got £28 green on 2-1. And they duly did. 2 minutes after Salzburg went 2-0 ahead. So in the 88th minute it was 2-1. So we've got a guaranteed profit there. Except we've got a slight sort of niggling worry about 3-1. We've only got £4 green on that. And that would result in a £17 loss if it actually went to 3-1. 2-2 were okay because we're covered by the £35 green we have on the match odds draw. So I've got an option here, either to lay 2-1, or what makes more sense really is why not back 3-1 and 2-2. So I'm backing 3-1 at 6s for £2. I'm backing 2-2 for £2 at 8.8. So at least with a 3-1 scoreline, we're kind of reducing that potential £17 loss if it does go to that. I mean, there's sort of 1-2 minutes left to play, so that's now increased our green to £14 on 3-1, and 2-2 is now at £29. We should be matched quite soon, I hope. There we go. That's matched. So if it goes to 2-2, we've got a £20 overall profit. That should standard score an equaliser in the final minute. While we're just running this down here, all the games are coming to full time. A particular trade that's not actually included in this video, which I did, was an earlier 5:30 kickoff between Sheriff Tiraspol and Spurs, whereby I laid 0-1 at round about even money in the sort of 70th minute, and that was a winner for sort of a £7 profit there. And that sort of concludes our trading in play. And a regular in-play night will see all of these kind of trades, not just conceived, thought of by myself, but all the members in the chat room are there offering their particular suggestions. So if you haven't already, do try and drop in and see how we do. And thanks for watching the video.